Now at 5:30 on WKYT this morning, Hillary Clinton will be back in Kentucky today ahead of the state's primary in a week. WKYT's Mark Barber will have more on her visit ahead this morning.
It includes a stop in Lexington today, and Lexington police are looking for an armed suspect following an overnight robbery. We'll have more on the interesting disguise that this suspect used coming up this morning.
And the NAACP plans to hold a rally at Lexington Catholic High School today. Mike Byer will have more on the reason why they're holding the rally coming up on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Kentucky Morning start here on WKYT. Good morning to you. We're so glad you're along. It's Tuesday, May 10th. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Michelle Chamberlain. And just so you know, before you head out the door, it is a first alert severe weather day today. So just
potentially
prepare.
Strong storms could be rolling through. We're really watching that for you today. Meteorologist Micah Harrisey is up with us now with the very latest. Good morning, Micah.
Hey, good morning, guys. Luckily, we're not going to see anything like we saw in the plains yesterday. There were strong, violent, long-track tornadoes. We're not going to see that today. However, we cannot rule out an isolated tornado across the region. Mainly damaging winds and your hail threat are going to be the main concerns. A couple of showers out there early this morning. And then here comes a line of showers and thunderstorms. This isn't your severe weather threat. It actually moves on through. We will get some rain out of that here in the next few hours. I'd say anywhere from 9 a.m. to about noontime is when that moves through. And like I said, you'll get a few rumbles of thunder out of that, but your severe threat actually comes later on this evening. Damaging winds, large hail, that's your best bet to actually see come out of these storms. Isolated tornadoes, like I said, you can't rule them out. And you know what, honestly, you can't really ever rule those out as a system passes on through. We're going to be watching this. There's a slight risk across all the viewing area. Will this be upgraded to an enhanced area? That's what the Storm Prediction Center has been talking about the past couple of hours. We're going to go over that in just a few minutes.
Well, obviously, we'll keep a close watch on that, and we thank you very much.
Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton will be returning to the Bluegrass today.
She was in Ashland last week, and she's campaigning ahead of Kentucky's primary, which is 1 week from today. WKYT's Mark Barber is live now from the Family Care Center off Red Mile Road, where Clinton will be this afternoon. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. These are the days that really count because Democratic voters will choose between Hillary Clinton and Senator Bernie Sanders in just 7 days. Hillary Clinton is making her case one more time to Kentucky voters this week, starting with young working parents here at the Family Care Center on Red Mile Place. Her private meeting with them will start at 12:15 this afternoon. One of her big pitches to voters in Kentucky has been that she can break down barriers for people who have been passed by. We expect that will continue to be a part of the conversations here today. Clinton will also privately meet with families at the Family Health Center in Louisville today. That second stop will be at 3:45 this afternoon. And while the details have not been released yet, we have learned that former President Bill Clinton will also be returning to Kentucky this week. After his wife campaigned in Ashland last week, underlining her policies for job creation and the coal industry, he stumped for her in Moorhead, Lexington, and Louisville, reinforcing those points. As the Clintons work to win over any undecided voters in this last week before the primary, there will be at least one event that the public can attend. Hillary Clinton will be speaking at a rally at Louisville's Slugger Field at 6:15 this evening. That's the latest here in Lexington. I'm Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you very much. Today, Republicans are holding primaries in West Virginia and Nebraska. But the real heat may come later this week when Donald Trump is scheduled to meet with Republican leaders in Washington. Hannah Daniels has the latest on the presidential race.
West Virginia. Voters in Nebraska and West Virginia head to the polls today, where presumptive GOP nominee Donald Trump is running unopposed and expected to win big.
It's no fun this way. I want the primaries to keep going, but everybody's out. I'm the only one left. That's okay, right?
On the campaign trail, Trump's personal attacks on his likely Democratic opponent, Hillary Clinton, continue.
She's married to a man who was the worst abuser of women in the history of politics.
Wow. During a stop in Stone Ridge, Virginia on Monday, Clinton called Trump's rhetoric reckless and dangerous.
I'm not running against him. He's doing a fine job of doing that himself.
Clinton faces an uphill battle in West Virginia today, where polls show Bernie Sanders with the lead. Vermont senator campaigned in front of a crowd of more than 15,000 people last night in Sacramento.
I think we got a good shot to win in West Virginia, in Kentucky, and in Oregon. And after those 3 states, we're coming to California on June 2nd.
Sanders needs a landslide win in California's primary to stay in the race. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
And Donald Trump will meet with Republicans in Washington on Thursday.
2 lawsuits have been filed over a North Carolina law that restricts which public restrooms transgender people can use. The U.S. Justice Department sued the state after North Carolina's governor refused to change the law. Hours earlier, North Carolina sued the federal government over the law, challenging the government's claims that the law is a civil rights violation. The Justice Department said some federal funding to the state could be taken away unless the law is changed. New this morning, Lexington police are searching for an armed suspect following an overnight robbery. It happened just after 2 a.m. at the Speedway on Paris Pike. Police say the suspect wore a unique Mardi Gras-style mask with pink socks to cover his hands. They also say he did not speak, but pointed a gun toward the clerk and demanded money using hand gestures. Police say the suspect was last seen heading towards Roger Road. At this time, no arrests have been made. About 30 minutes before, police say a man was robbed by gunpoint on Appian Way. The victim says he was walking when a man came from behind and pulled out a gun. The victims say the man stole his wallet. Police lost track of the suspect at a nearby apartment complex.
A judge has set a $1 million bond for an Owsley County woman accused of killing her parents. Lynette McQuinn is charged with murder and tampering with evidence. On Friday, state police say she shot her parents, John and Ada McQuinn, in their home near Boonville. Yesterday, an Owsley County judge set McQuinn's bond. She will have a court hearing coming up on May 26th. The father of a Knox County murder victim says he talked to the suspect the day before the crime. Police say Shane Mills was shot and killed in his home last Wednesday. Police later arrested Richard Brown and have charged him with murder. They say Brown admitted to shooting Mills twice. Mills's father says Brown was in his store last Tuesday. He says Brown asked questions about the store and asked when it would close. He also says when Mills's mother called the home after hearing gunshots on Wednesday night, Brown answered the phone and said he was there to fix a sink.
I want them to hang him if they can or give him an electric chair because he killed my son cold-blooded murder. He had no gun, he had no shot. He was most likely asleep.
So far, police have not said what they think led to the shooting.
Investigators are also trying to figure out what caused a man's death in a Wayne County cave. They say they found 57-year-old Anthony Arisman dead Sunday night about 200 feet into a cave off Outer Halt Road. The Wayne County coroner says Arisman had experience exploring caves. He says they didn't find any signs of trauma on Arisman's body. Investigators say they do not suspect any foul play in his death. Investigators now think they know what caused the death of a woman at Lake Cumberland over the weekend. They found 52-year-old Wendy Augustine dead Sunday afternoon near Lake Cumberland State Dock Marina in Russell County. The coroner there says an autopsy was done yesterday and the preliminary cause of death is accidental drowning. Augustine was from Ohio.
New this morning, a group of hikers from Lexington was safely rescued from the Red River Gorge. The Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team says 3 college students got lost while climbing in an area called the Zoo. The search team was able to get the lost hikers on the phone before putting a new app to use, giving them a good idea of where to search. Well, this morning, the NAACP is planning to hold a rally in front of Lexington Catholic High School.
Yeah, this rally comes after some recent race-related issues at the school. WKYT's Mike Byer is at Lexington Catholic this morning with more on the rally. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Michelle. I'm outside of Lexington Catholic High School where the Lexington branch of the NAACP will hold a rally at 9 this morning. Leaders from the organization announced the rally last night in a press release. Now, this comes after some race-related issues within the school in the recent months. In one instance, a 17-year-old student was charged with terroristic threatening and harassment. The charges came after a 14-year-old African-American Lexington Catholic football player said the teen, who was his teammate, sent him racially charged and threatening messages. In a news release, the NAACP said they met twice with the Bishop of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Lexington. The NAACP NAACP says those meetings haven't led to any changes in the school's culture. Last week, Lexington Catholic High School leaders said they were working with local and national diversity experts. Now, a spokesperson from the school told us late last night the school was unaware that the rally had been planned. Once again, that rally is set for 9 a.m. We did reach out to the school for further comment, but so far have not heard anything at this time. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
They're coming out of hibernation and they are hungry. Kentucky officials say black bears are again wandering after a winter in their dens. They say hungry black bears are roaming the mountains of southeastern Kentucky but may wander farther. The Fish and Wildlife Agency warns people against leaving out things like garbage, pet food, and bird feeders. They also warn that feeding bears is against Kentucky law.
So the rule of thumb is do not attract them.
Do not attract them. And I wonder if you're supposed to run or stand still. I got to look that up because
you mean if you
it would be good to know.
The best is prevention.
Yes.
Don't attract them. 5:40, 20 before 6 on WKYT this morning. And let's see what is going on out there. It is clean and green with no reports of any early problems this morning. Of course, anticipating those potential storms and rain later today and into the evening hours. We'll be watching that, and that, of course, could impact travel. But right now, you're looking good throughout most of the region, and we'll keep you updated as we go into the next hour. A lot more coming up on WKYT this morning. Good to have you with us here on your Tuesday.
A South Carolina woman opened her door to an unexpected and unwelcome guest. More on the alligator that greeted her at the door. Well, good morning to her, right? And good morning to you. We'll be right back on WKYT this morning.
And we have some showers and thunderstorms heading our direction. The severe weather threat actually comes later on this evening and off into the night. I'm going to show you an hour-by-hour forecast to help you plan out your day coming up. We have a few showers over in eastern Kentucky at this moment. Nothing really to worry about as this travels on through. Just bits and pieces of rain here and there. You might hear a heavy downpour fall on the rooftop here in just the next couple of hours. Western zones taking a break for the moment in terms of a lot of rain falling. You may get a slight chance of rain here through the next couple of hours. But this line of thunderstorms heading our direction is not moving very quickly. I'd say it's around I-75 here in about 2 hours. And then it slides off into our region by around 9, 10 a.m. and then moves on through. However, I don't expect it to be very strong as it passes on through. You could get a rumble of thunder out of this, but that's not your severe weather threat. That comes later on this evening is what we're going to be focusing in on. High winds, yes, that is a possibility. Large hail, that's a possibility too. Flooding, not a huge concern, but it's still there if you have one thunderstorm after another. And tornadic activity is very low, but it's still there. And when I say very low, it's a little bit better than the past couple of rounds. But nonetheless, this is no outbreak type of situation. But still, I do expect at least a few severe cells later on this afternoon and evening. When I say afternoon, I mean late afternoon. 5 to 6 p.m. is when I expect it to roll across that Louisville area, I-64, 71, and 75 corridor. And then it slides down toward the southeast, so anywhere from 5 to about 7 or 8 p.m. back toward the northwest. Then you get in toward about 7 to about 10. That's really going to be anywhere from Maysville to the Bluegrass region, down toward Danville, work your way down 68 all the way into the Cumberland region. That's where you're expecting those. And then I would say anywhere from 11 p.m. to about midnight or just after that down toward the southeast. That's where you can see those storms move on in. Then they move on out. Tomorrow morning, only a small chance of rain. Throughout the day tomorrow, we're not looking at as good of a chance of rain, but it's still there. Anywhere from 40 to 60%, kind of depends on where you are. And that travels in towards your afternoon, too. So you'll get breaks here and there. But it looks like one day after another where you get strong thunderstorms. That's going to add to that flooding concern. I don't expect a big flooding concern today, but the next few days adding that up, yeah, that is a possibility. Tomorrow, Thursday, more storms in the forecast. And then we look toward Friday, that morning rain. But then a great afternoon. So the morning rain kicks on out of here as of right now. Now, this is 3 or 4 days away. But as of right now, it kicks on out of here about 7 to about 9 a.m. And then it moves out, and we have a really good-looking Friday afternoon. Saturday, Sunday, a couple of rumbles back in the forecast. This is a very active forecast. Guys, the next few days, you're talking about at least a 60% chance of thunderstorms. I would say today I'm leaning more toward the severe weather threat as tomorrow and Thursday, but nonetheless, all 3 days have at least a chance, at least for isolated severe cells. At least.
So today it picks up about 6 o'clock?
Yeah, I would say 6 p.m. in the northwest, travels through the evening and nighttime hours down toward the southeast.
You have to pick your good spots in that forecast, don't you?
Yeah, no kidding.
Few and far between.
Right.
All right, 5:47 right now. South Carolina woman opened her door Sunday night to quite an unwelcome guest.
Yes, at first Katrina Greenwood thought it was her yellow lab bumping up against the wall, but when she opened the door, she found an alligator. Greenwood said she started screaming and called 911. Authorities captured the gator after an hour of coaxing. Snake chaser Russell Cavender says he believes the gator was chased out of the water by an even bigger gator. Cavender says the gator, which Greenwood named Alex Bobby, is now in a safe location.
All right. Well, at least he leaves with a good name, I guess.
That is just not something you want to open your door to.
No, you wouldn't want to, but those kinds of stories seem to come out of South Carolina and Florida and so forth.
They worry about gators, and now we're worried about bears. So
right.
There you go.
You got it. 5:48 our time this morning, bright and early on your Tuesday.
Coming up, you'll get the stories making news at this hour.
We'll be checking traffic again, see how things are moving along, what's hot on the web and social media. You know, it's so good to have you with us. Here we are Tuesday morning on WKYT. We'll be right back. Good morning. Welcome into WKYT this morning. If you're just joining us, we're glad you're here this morning. If you've been along, we continue here on your Tuesday. Good to have you Tuesday, May 10th.
Let's take a look at some of the stories we're working on at this hour.
Hillary Clinton is coming to Lexington today to campaign, but her invitation-only event will be at the Family Care Center off Red Mile Road this afternoon. She'll be holding a public event in Louisville this evening.
The NAACP is holding a rally this morning at Lexington Catholic High School. The rally comes after some race-related issues at the school in recent months. NAACP leaders say they met with the Bishop of Lexington twice, and the meetings have not led to any changes in the school's culture. Parts of the nation's Midwest are bracing for potentially violent weather a day after deadly storms tore through the plains.
Several twisters touched down in Oklahoma yesterday, hitting areas south of Oklahoma City especially hard. At least 2 people are dead after the Oklahoma tornadoes. There were also tornadoes reported in Nebraska. The state of North Carolina is gearing up for a showdown with the federal government over its controversial bathroom law. Yesterday, the Justice Department sued North Carolina for violating civil rights hours after the state's governor, Pat McCrory, filed his own lawsuit. The law, House Bill 2 there, limits the use of public restrooms to the gender on a person's birth certificate.
A new study has come out with yet another reason junk food is unhealthy.
It suggests that a diet of junk food can cause as much damage to kidneys as diabetes. British doctors say that lab rodents fed cheese, chocolate bars, and other sweets had the same high levels of blood sugar as those with type 2 diabetes. Pregnant women who drink diet sodas daily may be more likely to have babies with weight issues. Researchers in Canada studied more than 3,000 mothers and babies and found women who regularly consumed artificially sweetened beverages during pregnancy were twice as likely to have a baby who was overweight by age 1.
And doctors at Georgetown University warn that yellow fever could become the latest global health emergency. They're asking the World Health Organization to take steps against outbreaks in Africa and Latin America and recommend increasing vaccine production. Let's get a check this hour on today's traffic trouble spots with live drive traffic. Not much going on out there right now as of this minute. If you're about to head out the door, it's good, but just remember, it is still early, 5:54. Traffic could pick up here very soon. Time to check with what's making news online this morning. Bill joins us now with what's happening on the net.
Yeah, the time this morning is 5:54, and right now on WKYT.com, it is a first alert severe weather day. We're, of course, watching very closely the approaching storms we're anticipating later today. You can find Micah's forecast, current observations, and any active watches or warnings anytime on our webpage. Also on WKYT.com, the NAACP planning a rally outside Lexington Catholic High School this morning. It comes after allegations of harassment at the school that some believe has not been adequately addressed. We're following up after yet another arson fire at a home in a rural area. State police believe the fire north of Richmond is likely connected to fires in 4 other central Kentucky counties recently. WKYT investigates the dramatically increased use of medical transport helicopters in Kentucky. Our Miranda Combs looks into the judgment calls that are made quickly and the cost of ambulance flights. As Hillary Clinton campaigns in Kentucky today, a reminder of next Tuesday's primary, Kentucky.com looks at the 2 Democrats running for Congress. The Reverend Nancy Jo Kemper is facing Jeff Young, who has run previous campaigns for Congress and governor. They're making the case that they would do a better job than incumbent Republican Andy Barr, who has his own primary. And CBS This Morning is coming up shortly at 7 with your eye opener, and of course we'll have local updates. Hey, join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest news anytime, WKYT.com.
See some showers out there early this morning. That's pushing on through over toward the eastern zones. Taking a bit of a break for the western areas as of right now. But if you span out, look at this system heading our direction. Now, the closer this gets to us, the farther away it actually gets from the actual energy. The energy is still well back toward the west. So we have plenty of time. But the closer this gets to us, it loses that energy, starts to fade away. I still expect showers and thunderstorms out of this, but it won't look as bright as that. It won't look like, it looks like a nasty system rolling on through. So we will get some rain out of that, but really it's later on this evening, off into the night. We're going to be looking for that slight risk of some severe storms as they travel on through. We do have chances for winds, large hail, isolated tornadoes. They are in there as we travel through the day later on today. I'm going to break down that timing for you. If you have not seen it yet, I'm going to show you how you can plan your day around these storms coming up with another hour of WKYT News. If you're about to take off, have a great day. If not, stick with us. We have one more hour of WKYT News coming up in just a couple of minutes.